Hello, everybody. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep, I could see it.
Okay. So you should be seeing the presentation title right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we'll wait a few minutes and give people a chance to come into the meeting. Okay.
Okay.
And welcome to those of you that are here already.
Thank you. It's nice to hear you.
Thank you. Who am I speaking to?
Rhonda Bopp here.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi.
Oh, it tells me. Okay, I just saw that. Well, RB. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 12:03. So to honor everybody's time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. If that's okay with everybody, we may see people coming in. Some people do not have a mic and or video camera. That's totally okay. I'd like this to be as interactive as possible today. So if you could familiarize yourself with the conversation button so that if any point you want to chime in or give an answer to something, I'll be able to see it in the chat box. So it may say chat, it may say conversation. Um, yeah, so today is the first of a series that I'm going to be doing, Rap for Work, how to take care of yourself while taking care of others. My name is Baltimore Gonzalez. I know many of you that are on there. I saw a lot of names of people I know, many I don't. Thank you for taking your time out to spend this little bit of time getting to know each other and having a conversation about how to keep ourselves well during a time that is certainly feels unwell for a lot of people and for our world right now. I know for me personally, my heart goes out to the world and to our community, to my coworkers, my family, friends, and to myself. This is a difficult time for everyone. So I'm an advanced level facilitator with RAP, which is the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. Many of you have taken our RAP trainings and are familiar with what RAP is. I'm going to be giving a brief overview of RAP, really brief, because today I really want it to be about having a conversation about what can we do and what are we already doing to take care of ourselves during this time at work. I always like to say, even when I do my trainings, there's no presumption that anybody is not well. This is just to work in conjunction with what you may already be doing to take care of yourselves. And we all know the saying, physician, heal thyself. Right now, we're trying to take care of a lot of people, and it's important to remember to take care of ourselves. Stacey Van Briggen requested that I did this, and I appreciate her support, and Amanda Rosen for helping me put this together. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. So if you're feeling pretty freaked out right now, you're not the only one. Many of us are freaked out, and as I talk to people every day and I get phone calls as the RAP liaison, many people are having a hard time taking care of others and taking care of themselves. So as we navigate the COVID-19 pandemic, however you're feeling right now is okay. I can't imagine that I'm the only one that feels any of these things: fear, worry, anxiety, anger, grief, loneliness, panic, exhaustion, frustration, annoyance. They're all on the table, and they're all normal responses to this abnormal situation. So just know that you're human. And if anything makes me qualified to do this webinar, is that I'm human like the rest of you, and any one of you could be doing this as well. We're all human. It doesn't matter what our titles are right now. We're all susceptible to what's going on out there. We don't know how long this period of uncertainty will last, but we do know we can take responsibility for our own wellness even during a global health crisis. There's a lot we can't control right now, but we can take ownership of the things we can control. So if you don't yet have a RAP, we invite you to create one now. If you do have a RAP, encourage you to update it to support yourself during the COVID-19 situation that we're going through. And for all of us, most of us, our routines have changed, priorities may have shifted. I do like to remind people, including myself, this is temporary. It is temporary, and I have to tell myself that every day. This is temporary, Baltimore. And please bear with me as I navigate how to use this Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. So the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, the RAP, helps people identify the most important components of staying well and is organized in 5 sections: the daily maintenance plan, triggers, early warning signs when things are breaking down, and then the crisis plan. Just to let everybody know, if you didn't, it's now recognized by the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration as an evidence-based practice. So this is why we wanted to present it to you again in conjunction with whatever you're already using. It'll help you with discovering your own simple, safe wellness tools, developing a list of things to do every day to stay as well as possible, identifying upsetting events, early warning signs, and signs that things have gotten much worse, and using wellness tools, develop action plans for responding at these times, creating a crisis plan, and then creating a post-crisis plan for when that crisis is over. I'm going to switch this for a second and take this off of sharing. Okay, can you guys see me now? Can someone just type yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I can see you, Baltimore.
Okay, thank you. So today's focus is going to be on key recovery concepts and the wellness toolbox. So for me, peace of mind is everything. And as said by Chetan Bhagat, the most valuable thing in the world is peace of mind. Nothing's worth your peace of mind. And that includes work, right? We have to figure out right now, how can we have that balance of still maintaining our going to work, doing what we're supposed to, being afraid, not going to the store, going to the store. And I don't know about you guys, but every day something kind of changes. Wear masks, don't wear masks. I'm in a very lucky situation where my son lives with me, and I have a loving family, and I have access to great coworkers and great support. And my heart goes out to those who maybe don't have some of those things. Um, so for me, I try to stay into gratitude every single morning because when I listed off those things of normal feelings, I have found working from home, by the way, I'm working from home like many of you, that I can be quite grumpy. And I like having a routine and getting out of the house. And so that's something I've learned about myself. And then as we go through with personal responsibility as one of the key recovery concepts, I've also learned ways in which I can share with those around me, you know, and be honest with them that I'm having a hard time maybe in that moment or, whatever's going on. So I'm going to start off with the 4 parts to the study of mental health recovery. Um, my aim today is not to read to you what rap is about and everything else. It's really to come together as a sense of a team. As you saw, when we sent this out, it said team building. And hopefully in the future, because this will be a series, we can get people together to do different cohorts, get different teams going and get people supporting each other and really reaching out for the support they need. Many of you already know the answer to this, but key recovery concepts: hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, support. Um, and then the second part is the wellness toolbox, which is what we're going to go into a little bit today. The third part is the wellness recovery action planning. And the fourth is the recovery topics, which is building self-esteem, changing negative thoughts to positive ones, peer support, work-related issues. So there we go, work-related issues. I don't know about you guys, but again, the changing negative thoughts to positive ones, I consider myself to be very namaste. And I'm having a lot of times where I'm having to meditate a little bit more or even go and shed tears for a few minutes and let it out, or vocalize the fact that I'm fearful. So in these next 5 that I'm going to go over with you, if you could in the box, in the chat box, when you hear the word hope, what does hope look like to you? What does it mean to you? I may not ever be able to read everybody's, but I'd like to read a few of what hope means to you. And I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see what I put up right here. So that's my granddaughter. Her name is Sunny. And that is me and San Juan Batista. So this is what hope looks like for me. Hope for the future, love, that's what my granddaughter represents to me. Unconditional love, no judgment, just so much love. And I think she's the most beautiful thing in the world. And then my spirituality. For me, that's a lot. That means a lot. I wear spiritual things. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a certified spiritualist. So spirituality means a lot to me. So I'm going to try to get to this chat box if I can figure it out and see if anybody has put anything in the chat box. Okay, here we go down there. So I see Amanda says, hope is believing that one day I will get to return to work. Yes, definitely. And I imagine a lot of people are feeling that way right now. Getting to return to work, I feel the same way, Amanda. So hope is believing that one day I will get to return to work. Did anybody else want to put down what hope might look like to them? Feel like to them? And hope is different for everybody, for every single person. There are no wrong or right answers when we're talking about any of this. L Green just said, watching the rain affect my vegetable garden. Watching the rain affect my vegetable garden. That's beautiful, especially since I would love someday to not kill everything that I plant. So that is awesome to hear that anybody's able to even keep a vegetable garden growing. That gives me hope, just hearing that. Robert Wilson says, hope is to one day be able to attend family functions. So you see where this is changing as we progress, as we go into this situation even longer. Now we're what, like a month in. Just to be able to attend family functions is hope. Um, Francisco Escobedo says, every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive the next morning, but still we set alarms to wake up. That's what hope means to Francisco. I love that, Francisco. I'm going to read that again. Every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive the next morning, but still we set the alarms to wake up. Gabe Gomez says, hope is appreciating the many gifts that God provides. Gratitude right there. Mercedes Viegas, hope is getting to see my grandbabies again. Yes, I feel you, Mercedes. I have my granddaughter, and yes. And then Rita says, right now, hope means to me the kindness of people offering kind gestures to others, like purchasing food items for our elders. Hope is that we still have Easter, even if it looks different in the way we will celebrate this year, right? Even the fact that now doing this webinar, I'm so happy to see faces. Lisa C, I can see your face on my screen. That's the only face I can see. And I'm just happy to see a face that's not my own. Francisco Escobedo wanted me to share that that was not his quote. Thank you, Francisco. It was still beautiful. So those are examples of hope. And as you can see, they're so different for a lot of us, and they have changed, I imagine, for a lot of us in the past month. That gratitude of just being able to wake up in the morning or going back to work. I've had people that I know say they yearned to get back to work and didn't realize how much they missed hearing good morning from their coworkers or seeing that smile of their coworkers. Even coworkers they thought they didn't like, they missed them too. Just a little bit of funny there, but so personal responsibility. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm sharing this. This is my first time using Microsoft Teams, so please bear with me. And okay, so I am sharing it. Okay, so I cannot control personal responsibilities, so I can let go of these things. And maybe this isn't true for everybody, but this is something that I put on there, that I actually look at every day. I can't control if others follow the rules of social distancing right now. It bothers me to no end. I was very happy to see my father, who is an old school Latino, wearing a mask and taking it seriously in gloves. The actions of others, predicting what will happen, other people's motives, how others react, how long this will last. And funny that you see on there the amount of toilet paper at the store. I cannot control that. I don't know about you guys, but it really got me angry that I could not find toilet paper anywhere. But before you knew it, I had friends and family who were turning to each other and saying, hey, I was able to get some. Do you need any? And we've shared, and nobody went without. Not one person that I know of has gone without, thank God. So I can control. So I will focus on these things, my positive attitude, how I will follow CDC recommendations, my own social distancing, turning off the news, limiting my social media, my kindness and grace. That's a huge one, my kindness and grace to others. Finding fun things to do at home. I would love for you guys to email me if you could for next time. Things that you're finding fun to do at home. I ordered the game Speak Out that I saw on Ellen because it just looks so hilarious. And that's something I wouldn't have done before, but I wanted to do it. And yeah, so anything that you're doing, and I'm trying to change this mode again, so bear with me. Okay, so that's personal responsibility. I'm not going to ask you to share right now, but 5 ways to self-educate yourself. Blogosphere blogs are an amazing way to learn a lot about any topic, right? Again, on any of these things, if you want to email me directly and tell me things that you're using, this being a first time meeting, it would be really nice to come back in 2 weeks and be able to say what other people shared. Books, books being available to educate yourself nowadays. There's really no excuse to constantly read if you wanted to. Podcasts. I have a coworker who loves TED Talks, and one of my best friends. But there are amazing podcasts out there. One that I know of is Entrepreneur on Fire. Um, and you can learn a lot of skills really quick. Video speeches with the internet. So you can find a lot of videos where people are willing to teach you things. Today, you being here, congratulations, and I'm proud of you because you decided to intentionally take time out of your day to go out on a limb and partake in something that was about wellness. Online courses, there are a lot of online courses right now that are free or very inexpensive, like Udemy, Treehouse, Coursera. So there's a lot of ways that you can educate yourself. So I'm going to go on to support, and I'm going to share this screen again. I'm going to get this mastered pretty soon. So support right there. One of my best friends, colleagues, and another ALF advanced levels facilitator is Rita Mejia, then my mom and my son. That's not all of the support I have. Those are just a few pictures I had of with permission. I didn't want to post any pictures without people's permission. But this is the support I have, and for you guys, I implore you to find someone who's of like mind that you can go to. And Rita and I were having a conversation yesterday where mid-sentence I said, you know, I just need to let this out. I'm having a really hard time today. I found out that someone I knew has COVID. I haven't seen them in over a month. And it kind of freaked me out. And so I can tell you that as a person who's lived with a panic disorder my whole life, I do well with panic. This has not been as panicky for me as it has been for a lot of my friends and family, because I often panic over my own shadow. So I've had to learn how to deal with that my whole life. So I've had a lot of experience with panic. So I felt it yesterday, but for me, it's very cleansing to my soul when I'm able to let that out and just tell someone. So that's support. So self-advocacy is the next one. And actually, I'll go back a second. If you guys want to share someone who you see as support in your life right now, that you just couldn't do without, you know, and just makes you feel good, because those are the type of people that I like to spend my time around, are the unconditional people. So again, in the chat box, if you could just let us know if you want to share who are some people that you feel are your support, and I'll give you a second. And that could be anybody. Again, there are no right or wrong answers to this. It's who you feel is support. As I'm waiting for some answers, throughout the years, you know, my support changes, and I have different types of support. I have support when it comes to my panic disorder. I have support when it comes to maybe relationship issues. So there are different kind of supporters that we have for different things. I typically don't go to my mother for support with my panic because I don't want her to worry. So again, we choose our supporters by whatever it is we feel they can support us with. Amanda Rosen said, my husband and my mom. Robert Wilson said, oh, thank you, Robert. Beautiful smiles on Rita in Baltimore. That was a very happy day, that picture that I showed. Leah Guild said, my amazing coworkers who I miss now. That happens to be one of my coworkers and biggest supporters. Rita Mejia says, supporters for me are you, which would be me, Baltimore, her husband, her cats, and God. Thank you, Rita. I'm glad to be up there with your husband, cats, and God. Rhonda Bopp, Jesus, my family, my coworkers, Andrea Zybel, my mom, dad, and daughter. Robert Wilson, my wife, who I play and lose every game of Scrabble to. Um, Trevor Burkholz, hi. Oh, I'm sorry. He was just sending a message. That's different. Okay. Um, my faith and my sisters, says Mercedes Villegas. Yes. So I kind of see a common theme in a lot of ours that our support for many of us is our faith as well as people. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one, which is self-advocacy. Can someone just tell me, are you able to see the self-advocacy screen right now? Or do you see me? Okay, yes. You guys are saying yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me again. It's my first time using Microsoft Teams like this. And okay, so self-advocacy. So here, let's go back into work for a second. Speaking up for yourself. Speaking up for yourself. And we do this in a respectful manner of what are my needs? What do I need to take care of myself at work, specifically at work? And for many people, like that can be seen as rude or scary. I'll give you an example of what comes to mind for me as I was put on some medication about a month and a half ago. And I was really worried because I'm very sensitive to medication that how it was going to affect me. And so I decided that I was going to be honest with my supervisor, Julie Apperson. And I let her know that I did not know how that week was going to look, even though I started them on a Friday. And it turned out that that week was off. I was late probably 3 or 4 days out of that week. But I advocated in a way of being honest and saying, hey, this is what I'm going through. And it was not a problem. And I felt supported and it took away that fear of, okay, I'm going to be judged or whatever, that internal judgment that I do to myself. Speaking up for yourself, maybe you need to go for a walk on a break. Maybe you need to drink more water. I don't know that that was a good example. Can anybody else think of any good examples of when it comes to speaking up for yourself? By the way, I'm getting a lot of emails as I'm talking. Just so if it's anybody on here, I can't read them. So they would be better in the chat box. Staying informed. You know, I was doing a training, a rap training, where we had, I think, 16 participants. And it was the day that Dewan, our director, did her very first live, I don't know what she would call it, informational. And I know for me and for many people there, they felt much better once Dewan spoke. And one of the things that I had said, and I even emailed Dewan and thanked her, that I had said was that I really liked that Dewan stayed focused on facts. I didn't feel as fearful after hearing Dewan speak. So in staying informed when it comes to the whole COVID-19, I'm very careful about where I get my information from. For me personally, the CDC, Dr. Fauci. So that may be different for all of us. And then I also limit myself now to a couple of times a day. I found that watching too much and trying to stay too informed was really making me ruminate a lot. And so for me, that's what works. Knowing your rights. So let's go back to work for a second. Knowing your rights. What are your rights at work? Do you know your rights? Do you have the right to take some time off if you need to because you're not feeling well? Do you have the right to work at home? So a lot of these things are new right now, and we're finding that we're doing a lot of things differently than we would have a month and a half ago. I've said that many times, but knowing what your rights are to any given situation, and not just your rights when it comes to your legal rights, but your rights when it comes to your boundaries. Maybe you need some time alone. Maybe you need to be able to put a sign on your door that says, you know, busy for the next hour, doing paperwork or something, but you yourself need to know what your rights are and what your boundaries are and what your needs are. So even going back to the speaking up for yourself and the staying informed, we need to constantly inform ourselves each day, as we go along, what we need to stay healthy, finding support, problem solving, self-determination, asking for help. I think is huge and paramount, is asking for help. As someone who struggles to ask for help, I get that that can be really hard for a lot of us. We are the mental health professionals who are supposed to be making other people feel better. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes for me, it's hard to ask for help because I feel like I'm supposed to be a guru at this by now. I have 22 years in the field. But we're not. We're human. We're human. So, okay, any questions about where we're at so far? I'm going to look in the chat box. Okay, so Rita says, I am practicing self-advocacy by staying transparent with my colleagues and trying to honor my work limits. Okay, so that's a really good example of self-advocacy, is staying transparent with my colleagues and trying to honor my work limits. Okay, we're going to go on to, okay, again, give me a second. Okay, so the Wellness Toolbox, this is something that I hope that you all, if you have a binder, if you have a notebook, if you have a piece of scratch paper, that's okay. Whatever you can use right now. But the 7 steps of developing a RAP plan begin with selecting tools that will go into your Wellness Toolbox. So if you can imagine a toolbox with a hammer and whatever it is you keep in your toolbox, this is going to be full of wellness tools that you use. There are activities that you enjoy or that help you feel better that you may have used in the past or would like to use in the future. The Wellness Toolbox is a listing of things you've done in the past or that you do now to stay well. It also includes things you already do or might do to help yourself feel better when you are not feeling well. So someone mentioned about gardening. That's a wellness tool right there. Someone else mentioned about playing Scrabble with their wife. That's a wellness tool right there. This is the cornerstone of RAP, and just remember that it's okay not to be okay all of the time. It is okay. So what are some of the things that you're currently doing to help yourself feel well, stay well, and live the way that you want to live? Things you can do in your home without other people physically present. Some of you already gave some examples of that. Things that you're currently doing to help yourself feel well. Even as I stated, that has changed for me in the past couple of months, and I've had to change my RAP to where that I'm meditating more often. I'm lighting more incense, more sage. I'm making more phone calls to friends and reaching out. Rita used the word transparent. I'm being more transparent with those who are around me the most, and that I love. I'm checking in with them and saying, hey, just wanted to check in. How are you feeling today? How are you doing? How can I support you? So some examples people have given are reading. Even if you don't have books, you might have access to free ebooks. Writing, journaling. By the way, when I asked you to have a piece of scratch paper or something, that was so that you could write down those things, and then maybe share a few with us. Exercising. YouTube has thousands and thousands of videos that you can watch to exercise if there's anything you want to learn. I did a yoga one a couple weeks ago. It's not for me, maybe when I lose 50 pounds, but it just was not for me. So, but just like meditation isn't for others, that's the great thing about wellness tools, is all of ours are going to be different. Call, text, email, or video chat with a supporter. I have video chatted with a few friends, and I have never done that before. And that's been awesome. Watching movies or TV shows, looking at art or watching performances through the internet. A lot of museums and theaters right now are streaming art performances. Museums are letting you do virtual tours, doing crossword puzzles with the people you live with, staying hydrated, washing your hands and surfaces frequently, getting extra sleep. Getting extra sleep right now during this time of stress. Um, and then some things that you might want to try. You might want to try FaceTime, where that you can face-to-face see someone, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, other communication platforms, Marco Polo. Recently, we have been seeing that there are a lot of virtual meetings, virtual 12-step meetings, AA, NA, LGBT. If you know of any, please email me and send me a link. I would love to put a list together of those. I find it really difficult to find ones that are for anxiety and depression. And I believe it was one of my friends, it might have been Rita, that joined a dance party a couple days ago that was virtual. I think it was. But so webinars or other online activities you can use to be social while staying in your home. Take free online classes from major universities. So I'm going to go back to, I see on here that Andrea Zeibel, I'm sorry, I'm going to go up. Wow, thank you, you guys. Okay, let me go up for a second. So one of my wellness tools is Starbucks. I am practicing self-advocacy, okay. Trevor Burkholz says, I practice self-advocacy by not looking at work emails when off the clock. Good for you, Trevor. Robert Wilson says, exercise and read good history, nonfiction, plus my daily Bible devotion time. Trevor says, my wellness activities include playing with my 2 dogs, tending to vegetable and flower gardens, sending encouraging texts and emails and social messaging. Yes, that's definitely, I've never done so much text messaging in my life, Trevor. Just texting to say hey to people and how are you doing, checking in. Rhonda says, when the sun is out, Rhonda Bob, I take a break and sit outside to enjoy the peace and quiet. That's something my son does often, Rhonda, is a wellness tool of his. Is as soon as the sun's out, he'll just go sit out there and let the sun hit his face. Amanda Rosen says, listening to music, watching movies, playing with my dog. So I'm not sure if all of your dogs are happy that you guys are home or not happy. I think my dogs are happier when I'm not home because I tend to make them go outside. Andrea Zeibel says, wellness, positive self-talk, divert attention, watching a good movie, and staying present with my daughter. Check in, cooking together. Before I move on, I love what Andrea just said. She just said, staying present. And that's something I've had to be aware of, Andrea, and everyone else, is that when I'm at home is having gratitude for those who are around me, because I imagine I can't be the only one that we tend to get on people's nerves, or they tend to get on our nerves because we're together so much. But then getting into gratitude and actually being present while watching a movie or playing a game and putting the phone aside, and spending time with intent, with an intent to be present. Trevor says, I also go outside a lot and go on hikes in the country, runs in the neighborhood, saying hi to everyone while maintaining physical distancing. Carla Moreno says, arts and crafts with the family. That's awesome, Carla. Also, if any of you would like to send me pictures of you guys doing this stuff, I can incorporate it into our next seminar. Rita says, meeting with a group of people from church each week through Zoom. I know there's a lot of people who are doing church, virtual church right now. Andrea Zeibel, Easter is coming up and looking at how I connect with family. Trevor says online church services and meetings with church groups. Um, Rita says nightly howling at 8 p.m. throughout the world. Rita, I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds like everybody's welcome to howl at 8 p.m. throughout the world. Andrea says she loves to dance like MC Hammer. Gabe says daily exercise. Robert Wilson, oh, he just said he'll be howling with Rita. And so Leah Guild, one of my coworkers, this is something that she's often shared. She just said, I missed the zoo, but they have videos and webcams. She pretty much went to the zoo every single week, and that was a huge wellness tool of hers. So there are wellness tools that all of us have probably had for a very long time that we're having to adjust to. Mercedes Vega says, buying a new lipstick online. Yes, Mercedes, online shopping has been awesome. Amazon. And Rita says, neighbors are going outside to howl and hear each other. Okay, well, that's great. And so, yeah, you guys can reach out to Rita if you are curious about that. So there's a free Wrap app, and it's available for iOS and Android. It's totally free. Our next wellness webinar is going to be on April 22nd, 2020. Well, of course, it's going to be this in 2 weeks. So again, so what I'm really hoping for is that, again, is that out of this is that we can break into cohorts eventually and teams, and you guys can send me what would be helpful to you, that we could talk about, so that everybody leaves here feeling like they've gained some sense of learning or checking in or feeling okay, or even just validation, like I say, that that it's okay not to be okay. You know, through these wellness webinars. In the values and ethics of WRAP, there's one of them is that you are the expert on yourself. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that every single one of us on here is the expert on ourselves. We know better than anybody else what's going to work for us and what's not going to work for us. And in the future, for those of you that have not attended a WRAP training, we'll be getting more into the meat and potatoes of WRAP for work when it actually comes to filling out what those things are that help you stay well. And of course, you want to do this when you are well. And there's a great section that I love doing, which is stressors, aka triggers, but then having an action plan. So for everything, when we do the WRAP in the future, there's an action plan for everything. So we're not just saying the things that bug us or take us out of our comfort zone, but we're also coming up with an action plan. So let's go to the thought of work with that. And, you know, perhaps you're getting triggered right now by something, or something is stressing you. Maybe it's the way you're having to check in or something else, you know. I just gave that as an example. And then having an action plan. Okay, what am I going to do? Maybe I'm going to sit in my car before work for 5 minutes and I'm going to do some deep breathing. But coming up with an action plan, excuse me, for whatever it is. So I'm talking a lot. So in the chat, does anybody have any questions or comments that they wanted to make? Mercedes, thank you. So I feel like I kind of went through everything a little bit fast, and I'm quite sure that when we're done with this, I'm going to remember 100 things that I didn't say. So I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to do this every couple of weeks. That's going to be great. And I'll get to know as time goes on what the needs are of the participants, what your guys' needs are. And like I said, if you could just email me, and if there's anything that you email me that's a suggestion or anything and you want it to be kept private, just let me know. Um, and that's totally fine. Otherwise, I like to give people credit for ideas or whatever. So Andrea Zeibel is asking, can you provide how to download Wrap on your phone? So it's really easy. So you want to go and you want to look for the Wrap app. My phone is right here, so I'm going to actually open up mine so that I can show you what it looks like, because I do not want you to download the wrong one. This is what it looks like. Can you guys see that? Or is it really blurry? It's probably really blurry, isn't it? Oh, wait, actually, I have it on the PowerPoint. So hold on. Let me go back to the PowerPoint and share that for a second. Okay. Okay, so like I said, Amanda Rosen has been assisting me, and I'm really wishing she was right here next to me, Amanda. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so right there, so that's the app that you want to download. And in that wrap, all the things that we're going to be talking about, such as the daily maintenance, the wellness toolbox, all of those steps that we're going to be using for wrap in the future are all in there, and you can type them in as you want. And then you can actually even email it to yourself. So as you change it, you can email that wrap to yourself. You can email it to a loved one if you want them to have a copy of your wrap. That's part of the wrap, is that you're going to share it, if you so choose, with maybe one or two of your supporters, however many of your supporters, or maybe there's just a piece of it that you would like to share, which is early warning signs. For example, if I'm not talking at all, and I look just, like I'm just not feeling well, chances are I could be having anxiety, and my supporters know that. And why? Because they have that part of my wrap. And how can you break me out of it? Well, that's on my wrap, and they know how. So yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Andrea. And okay, so some of you are saying you feel connected. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, I guess if there are no more, if there's nothing else, I would just like to end with, I hear this all the time and I don't hear it enough for our own community. Thank you so much for your service, for the services that you're providing to people in mental health need right now. Even though it may just be a voice over the phone or whatever, having been a client myself 23 years ago, you will never know how much your voice alone means to the person that you are connecting with. You may be the only thing they look forward to. So please don't underestimate the power of your voice and the power of your presence and how much you are needed in the world and in our community. And I'm just going to end on saying thank you so much for your service. And thank you so much for everything you guys are doing right now for our mental health community. And keep it up. Please reach out if you need to. You have my email and my contact information. You guys have a wonderful day.